talk about memories, and if that's what we're doing right now, I'd like to go ahead and mention my first experience at a porno theater.
Huh?
Is there still an art theater in Dayton?
No, not
No,
not
That's a
not
shame.
no, that
not.
has been closed.
Well, back in the '70s, it used to be there was I believe it was called the Art Theater, but it was a porn house, and you could sneak in really easy, and we used to do it all the time.
Little Brown
You
down
know,
on Brown Street.
that was the '70s. That was
Jim
the
remembered
'70s, man.
it. Down on Brown Street.
Yes, and then when I came back from the army years later, all of a sudden it's not showing anything but the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Right, because that's people were bitching, and they got money because the Rocky Horror Picture Show was actually usually pretty full. That's where I
And
saw Rocky.
the couple of nights I went, they were packed. People were having a good time, which is what they should be on I'm just saying that the porn house was shut down.
So Tim, please
But
share.
but go on, go on.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, here's the thing. You're supposed to have some kind of education or some kind of guidance from your parents and things like that. But let's face it, the old man was always at work. Mom was always asleep on the couch. Mark and the Sparks brothers were my mentors. They were
Oh,
my, you know, they were the taskmasters and stuff. So if they wanted to go down there, and if I was fortunate enough to be able to tag along with them, then that was a daring thing. We thought it was the coolest thing in the world to be able to go ahead and sneak into the art theater, and we did. And you know what's funny is, never once while we were there did we ever get any popcorn. I
Yep.
want to make sure I point that out.
can I
Never.
Well,
do what you trusted popcorn there?
yeah, don't get it
I'm just
buttered.
saying that was
They
the one
still.
thing that we knew not enough not to do.
Well, they did. They
But
did sell. They did sell popcorn and drinks there.
Well, they did.
yes, well,
Yeah, the buckets had a hole
like
in
I
the
said,
bottom, right?
none of us wanted to know. But we used to do that probably a couple of times a year, just to make sure that we could still do it. I remember the first movie that I saw. I think it was The Legend of Lady Blue or something. I can't remember. It had to have been like 73 or 74 or something like that. When I was like 13 or 14. But you know, it was nothing like I never didn't even know porn existed until I went into that theater, and I thought, what the? Because I was a kid. I didn't know what porn was.
You say that, but when did you have all those hustlers down there?
I'm sure that was Mark, and they just happened
They
to
were
get blamed on
your
me.
hustlers because we all knew they were your hustlers.
That's not so. I'm just telling you that when my thing was comic books, if you recall.
Yes. Plus, Tim wouldn't have hid them. So
Well,
We
see,
Yeah,
did.
like Sue Carey.
you know,
We're all the downstairs, and the mom swore she couldn't see him, and everybody else could go downstairs and see him. We're just hanging
they
out.
weren't all downstairs either. Some of them were under beds.
Absolutely. My mom goes, "Now you didn't know about that. The hell you did." Dad wouldn't have given a shit, by the way.
The
Remember?
'70s, man.
Dad wouldn't have cared because at least he knew you were straight.
I, you know what, Tim? You had the art theater. I had Cinemax.
Yeah, but you
Just
had
gonna say.
Dad with the Cinemax.
Oh
And that
Jesus
counted.
Christ!
Well,
Yeah.
it's one thing to go to porn when you're a teenager with other teenagers, but to sit next to your dad when a naked woman walks in, and he'd go and take a good look, boys. You know,
Yeah, that
Yeah,
kind of
that's to me that would be
you
really putting
gotta
off.
learn somewhere,
that
Helen.
really put a curve on it. That kind of yeah, that was a yeah. But it was a lady in red, so you know.
And you just couldn't
But
appreciate it the way you wanted to.
did it mess up your wedding night?
So much so, yes, there was so many. Oh, so many things, so many questions I had. But anyway,
That's how it looked like in the movie.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yes.
Dad didn't tell me about that. Anyway, but okay. So Tim had the art theater. I had Cinemax. What'd you have, Kevin?
I had the art theater as well, but Scotty took me.
Your friend Tim.
Your friend
Well,
Tim.
that's
Yes.
fine. You know,
It was.
the point is this: he got to go along with us, you know, because you know he was with me, so he got lucky enough to get the art experience, and then he passed it on to Kevin. That's pretty neat.
I get it. That's what
Yeah,
brothers
keeping
do.
it in the group. Keep it in the infant. You know, the in group.
Yes, but unfortunately, it was like one of those where we came in halfway through one film, then they started another film, and then they had like some technical
So you
something
were
or
afraid
other.
You couldn't follow the story.
Well, actually, I was kind of getting into the second film
But
for
you
the
know what?
plot. For the
And this-
plot.
Oh yeah,
These
plot,
things-
character
Yeah,
Yeah,
development.
for the plot.
Oh, I
Well,
thought it was
some
the
of these-
German midgets because it had
some
German
of these-
midgets.
Okay, you all seen Autobiography of a Flea,
And
right?
don't forget the trampoline. Yeah.
What's
Okay,
that, Beth?
What?
Have you all seen Autobiography of a Flea, right?
Yes.
Actually,
Which
I did not.
Do we have to fess up to this stuff?
But it's actually one of the big ones from the late '70s, early '80s. It's Johnny Holmes's first movie.
Yeah.
I don't want to tell you how I know this.
Right for
All I
a
gotta
plot.
tell you is, just go ahead and search for it on Google, and just make sure you put retro and put the title in, and you'll find it.
Right, because they tried
It's
for
all over the place.
they tried to make it look like a restoration comedy. So they were actually trying for something highbrow, which of course you say to yourself, well, yeah, but they couldn't. But they actually had a plot with that goddamn thing. Most of them don't.
Yeah, they in the 70s they did that.
Oh, the porn movies always had stories. They were just stupid stories.
Well, Deep Throat was a stupid story, yeah.
I don't know. It just went downhill when
Yeah.
video took over the market.
And for the record, the reason I know about these things, you guys were sneaking each other in, and I had to wait till I started dating my husband. He's like, "What do you mean you ain't seen these classics?"
That's a heartwarming story.
Will you please get me something to fucking drink?